Hello, thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show. 6 years later, we look at how artists have reacted to the Fukushima disaster. Rock star Johnny Hallyday and Oscar-winning actor Jean Dujardin star in the new film by one of France's most loved directors, Claude Lelouch. And from page to stage, as the first play of Elena Ferrante's works open in London, we examine this literary phenomenon. It was Japan's worst ever nuclear disaster. 6 years ago this month, the devastating earthquake and tsunami struck the island, causing a meltdown at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. The impact was immeasurable. In today's special report, we look at how artists, photographers and filmmakers have interpreted the events and made them into art. This is from Renaud Lefort and Catherine Viette.
Friday, March 11, 2011, a deadly earthquake in northeastern Japan triggers a massive tsunami, its tidal waves engulfing the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Six years later, 4 artists explore this tragedy. Wearing a Mexican wrestling mask to protect his identity, Katsudo Tatsuda is a Japanese manga cartoonist and one of the few volunteers to have worked at the plant in the aftermath of the disaster.
Just after the nuclear accident, there were people who rushed to work at the power station, and in doing so, they were regarded as heroes. But today, the people who work there are employees just like any other. It's much more of a normal workplace than what's thought around the world. The same goes for the surrounding cities. Now there's not much left to worry about.
A fine line, telling what happened without trying to embellish or disguise the reality. Rare testimony in a country undermined by the lack of transparency surrounding the disaster. Like Tatsuda, 2 French photographers weren't afraid to go back to the area. Carlos Ayesta and Guillaume Brassion photographed residents retracing their old lives.
From the beginning, our project has been a cross between a stage setting and a documentary. It is a documentary series. It has an element of truth. But at the same time, we've used artificial lighting and some staging. So it is on the edge of these 2 worlds.
その中で帰りたいなっていうのはおかしいんだけど、そう言わないと今生きてられないっていうか、元気でいられないっていうか、男の人は。
In the photographer's series Bad Dreams, plastic wrap is used to show the intangible border between what is contaminated and what is not. Fiction also reveals reality in German director Doris Dory's work, Fukushima Mon Amour. A young German volunteer connects with an elderly Fukushima resident. They move back into the woman's ruined house in the radiation zone.
You were a geisha? I am a geisha, the last one here. Missing is living with ghosts. You carry a ghost on your back, someone you lost.
Hauntingly portrayed in black and white, the 2 characters are literally confronted with the ghosts of their past.
Every Japanese believes in ghosts. Yes. So they are real, so everybody can see them. For me, it's difficult to accept their real existence, but when you translate it and when you just say, okay, it's an internal image. It's when you think of ghosts as memories, as memories that really torture you. They're real, those memories. So it's just a matter of language, I think.
Directors, photographers, graphic artists, they've all turned their creative eye to telling Fukushima's tragic story.
Well, now to the new film from one of France's best-loved directors. At nearly 80, Claude Lelouch has nearly 50 movies to his name. The best known internationally is probably A Man and a Woman, the love story that won 2 Oscars and the top prize at the Cannes Film Festival. His latest offering stars Oscar-winning Jean Dujardin and rock star Johnny Hallyday. The title in French is Chacun sa vie, which translated means each to their own. Julia Seeger has more.
Nous allons essayer, mesdames et messieurs, de le juger le moins mal possible.
The plot, jury members brought together by a trial whose lives viewers will discover over the time of a jazz festival. 13 characters, 13 star-crossed destinies. Complicated, isn't it?
Mon intime conviction, c'est qu'il est coupable.
I wanted to film chaos, the heart of France in a provincial city. I love the French because they all want control, but no one wants to obey. So it's in line with my own ethos.
In front of this director's lens, couples tear each other apart.
Non, on va commencer avec un divorce par consentement mutuel.
A doctor high on happiness. An unusual meeting between a rock singer and royalty.
Yes, I French kissed Johnny Hallyday.
In the movie, real-life French rock star Johnny Hallyday laughs at himself.
Il y a actuellement un sosie qui me fait beaucoup de tort. Je peux avoir vos papiers d'identité?
Paying tribute to his classic anthem.
Allumez le feu! Allumez le feu! Ok, c'est bon.
No matter what, when you look at Johnny, you feel like you're 12 again. You owe him respect.
Il force le respect.
Newcomer to Lelouch's team is real-life lawyer Dupont-Moretti, who in the movie wants to marry a prostitute.
Je veux laver mon linge, mais je veux pas laver tes slips. Je veux m'allonger sans qu'on touche mes seins.
Tenderness, passion, and comedy, that's Claude Lelouch's style, and all the actors that have worked with him agree.
He's so enthusiastic, a slap in the face of all the new young directors that aren't nearly as enthusiastic as he is. It always feels fresh, like it's his first movie.
That's probably Claude Lelouch's secret, unbridled love for life and cinema. The legacy has been going on for more than 50 years and has drawn in more than 140 million viewers.
And that film is out in French cinemas now. Just months after a New York Review of Books article about the possible real identity of the best-selling author Elena Ferrante, the first stage adaptation of her work has opened in London. The 2-part play, showing at the Rose Theatre, is called My Brilliant Friend. It traces the lives of 2 Neapolitan women from childhood in the 1950s. The author's identity, kept secret by her publishers, has been the subject of intense curiosity since her books became an international sensation after My Brilliant Friend was published in English in 2012. Shirley Sitbon reports now.
They're 2 of the world's best-known Italians, and they're pure fiction. Created 5 years ago, Lenu and Lila are 2 girls from Naples, living in the city after the war. Through their friendship and lifelong stories, Elena Ferrante describes decades of history in 4 novels. Bestsellers, the books were translated into 40 languages. 2.5 million copies have so far been sold. Described by many readers as feminist novels, it's the women's characters that have made the story so popular.
I remember they had very strong personalities. I like that. They're free and very modern.
I feel no nostalgia for our childhood. It was full of violence. Every sort of thing happened at home and outside every day. But I don't recall having ever thought that the life we had there was particularly bad. Life was like that. That's all we grew up with. The duty to make it difficult for others before they made it difficult for us.
Post-war Naples is another character in the story.
What I liked is the description of Italy. Its unique atmosphere, its poor neighborhoods.
This morning, Reno telephoned. I thought he wanted money again, and I was ready to say no. But that was not the reason for the phone call. His mother was gone.
The style is unpretentious and fluid, but critics seem more interested in another aspect. Who came up with the story? The author uses the name Elena Ferrante as an alias to remain anonymous, but her attempts to stay out of the limelight may have failed. A journalist has inspected the payments made by the editor, concluding Italian translator Anita Raya is behind the Neapolitan novels.
The money. When you are a successful author, you get paid a significant amount of money. I found the money, and therefore the money led to Anita Raya.
Many of the fans are furious. They say it's inconsiderate to try and reveal the author's name. It's even sexist. The translator has denied being the successful writer.
And her novels are also being made into a TV series by the Italian production company Wildside, the team behind Gomorrah. Now, just before we go, it's 100 years since the death of the world's most famous sculptor, Auguste Rodin. To mark the centenary, the Rodin Museum in Paris is hosting an exhibition linking the French master's work to that of German contemporary artist Anselm Kiefer. And we're going to leave you with images from that. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.